Hello everybody, happy Sunday and welcome back to Blue Jay Acres. So we got a ton to do today. We're gonna go on and just jump right into it. I got a lot going on in the kitchen. We're gonna do some canning, of course a bunch of cooking, and yeah, let's just jump into it. It's a busy day. All right, here's breakfast. Okay guys, today we are gonna make some pancakes. Luke is still not feeling good and this is one of his favorite foods at the moment, so I'm gonna hopefully get him to eat. So I'm gonna start by mixing my dry ingredients. I'm gonna make a double batch here. That's about 2.5 cups of flour. I need to go refill my flour. Two tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of baking powder, about a teaspoon of salt, and then we're just going to mix this up. Then I'm going to add some melted butter, at least 4 tablespoons. I like to do a little bit more. And then 2 beaten eggs. And a couple cups of milk. These are the best pancakes. I say it every time because they really are. I know that others have given me recipes and I really will try them. But when I'm making them for Luke, is stick with this. This is what he loves and works the best. So that's it. This is ready for the griddle. And you could make it a little thicker if you wanted them, you know, fluffier pancakes. This is just how we like them. Okay, we also made some of the bacon. Now, if you guys recall, we got uncured bacon. So, sorry, I'm not all the way cleaned up yet, but I'm jumping in real quick because the uncured bacon is very bland. Tastes like pork chops without any seasoning on them, but the flavor potential is there. And we chose to do it that way so that we would know what we need to do in the future. So what we're gonna do with the rest of it is we're gonna use our smoker and we're gonna smoke some good flavor into it. Then we'll put it back in the freezer and have it ready when we're ready to use it. So we'll be doing that for you guys in another video coming up. Also, Charles has been filming for you the last couple days. He is going to be posting some Homestead videos as well, probably once a week. And that will be in addition to these daily videos that I'm sharing the food, so don't worry, that's not going anywhere. But for those of you that want to see more of the Homestead stuff, he's going to be doing that once a week so that you can check out what's going on the homestead, see the animals, see just the busy work around here, the gardening, all that kind of stuff. So, back to these pancakes. So like I said, hopefully Luke is going to eat this. One of the problems with an autistic child, at least with Luke, maybe not all are that way, is that when he gets sick, it takes forever to get him to eat again because he is afraid. He's afraid that his throat will hurt. He doesn't drink much. It's very hard when he is sick. He also doesn't blow his nose or any of that, no matter how much you talk to him about it. He doesn't do it. And so it takes him a lot longer to get over it. And he has to get through all that fear as well. before he will start eating again. So I know some of you have autistic kiddos too. Let me know if that's something you guys go through too down there, or if you have suggestions, because he's 10, almost 11, and this has been the story of his whole life, is he doesn't eat. I mean, it takes forever. It will take me probably to the end of March, depending on how long he's sick, to get him back to just eating regular and drinking regular. It takes a long time. So while that's cooking, I thought we'd take a look into my sink. Ignore that side, I got to wash that dish. Here is all the tomatoes that I froze that we grew, and they're still such beautiful colors, so different than store-bought. But we're gonna turn all this into spaghetti sauce today. And if you guys saw while I was cooking, this is sitting out. I got this a year ago, the first year we moved here, so actually 2 years ago. I've yet to use it. So I'm excited to use it and use that to make it. It says that when they're frozen, it's the perfect time to use this because they're already soft and you don't have to like pre-boil them or anything. You just pop them in and it should just all strain beautifully because they're going to be kind of mushy anyway. And then we'll just cook it down and make some spaghetti sauce. Now I chose spaghetti sauce to make because I still have quite a bit of store-bought tomato sauce down there, enough to definitely last until we have new tomatoes in. But I don't have any kind of ready-made spaghetti sauce. So I thought this would be a great way to use up some of that pasta we have in our basement and an easy go-to meal for like Charles. So for dinner tonight, I do have some ground beef out, and then I have a package of the ground pork, and we're gonna make meatballs, and we're gonna do spaghetti and meatballs since I'm gonna be making this sauce anyway. And then we'll put together a dessert. And it'll be a busy day in the kitchen. As always, somebody asked, do I ever get sick of cooking? And I will tell you the answer is, of course, everybody does. But cooking is also my love language. So when anybody comes over or anything, I am definitely the let me throw something in. Let me cook something for you. That's just my way. Gifts for Christmas are usually homemade cooked stuff, whether it's candies or cakes or freezer meals for my mother, whatever the case may be. Uh-oh, I'm gonna go overboard. That is what I do. It's just how I share my love for you, I guess. So. All right, so then this is what breakfast looks like today. This is actually one that everybody eats. There's some more pancakes over there for whoever wants it. So as you can see, everybody will eat that, and then Theo, he'll do same as everybody else. He'll put syrup on it. Luke does not do oranges, but he does do a peeled apple, and he will not do any kind of syrup or bacon or anything like that. So that's breakfast today. All right, so real quick, we are gonna start the canning process now that breakfast is out of the way. But real quick, a couple questions. One is, how am I liking the laundry detergent? You guys, I'm loving it. So far, we've done about 6 loads now, and I feel like everything smells good. It's soft, it's cleaner, I feel like, than it was with the Tide Pods. So far, I am absolutely loving it. It's time to get started on the spaghetti sauce because it is already 11 o'clock and it takes like 4 to 5 hours just cooking it down on the stove before we're even ready to start canning. So let's jump into that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is use these onions and peppers that we got yesterday, which works out perfect. So we have our beef will be coming soon. So I need to do a lot of canning to get my freezers empty. So we have more room for the beef coming. So I need to do something each day for probably the rest of this week, just so that I can get stuff done. All right, I'm gonna cut it in half. I think it'd be easier to work it that way. And I'm just gonna chop 4 onions. Okay, next I'm going to use use the 4 peppers that we got yesterday, and I'm gonna chop those as well. Oh, the onions are starting to get strong. Okay, so over in this pot, I know it's super tall and gonna be hard to see. I'm gonna turn it on high and I'm gonna put some oil. I wanna saute these onions and peppers. So I'll try and move you guys over where you can see it. And then I'm gonna remove this from the heat and then I'm gonna remove it from the heat and I'm gonna start straining the potatoes, the tomatoes, and I'll start dumping the juice or the sauce in here. So, but at first I want to make sure that I've got this sauteed first because I'm going to need this great big pot in order to make all this tomatoes. Now I'm going to add all the onions and peppers. To this pan. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of salt to just kind of get that going. Get it sweating. And then I'm going to pour the rest of this jar in here because I'm making so much of this garlic because we like it garlicky. And that should be good. And now I'm going to add the garlic. I'm going to just remove this from the garlic. It's because I'm smelling so much garlic. I'm going to remove this from the heat. That's good. And I can start saucing the tomatoes. Alright, this is our first time trying this. So hopefully, I had Kate help me assemble it. Hopefully we did good. We're gonna see. Let's start with our first bag of tomatoes. So I'm gonna need to push this down. This is not going to be an easy task. I'm going to hold it. Kate helping me. It really is like this is stuck here. Don't cut yourself. Is there a thing in there?
There's a grater. Gotta find the one spot without safety.
Got Ronnie's help too. She's pushing the handle. The tomatoes down. Kate's holding the base. This is a lot more work than I think it's worth. You're out. Yummy. Okay, we are still working on the tomatoes, but I'm going to go on and get this started because it's going to take forever to bring this back up to boil. I'm also going to add to this great big pot 4 cans of tomato paste. Alright, so I'm dumping these 4 in here. I'm going to add a cup of brown sugar that we just did. Remember, this is a huge pot. I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup of salt. Okay, I'm gonna add some soy sauce. I know that's kind of weird to add, but it gives a really good, rich flavor. And then I'm also going to add some Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to add some basil. This is actually quite a lot of basil. That's it for my fresh basil, well, dried basil from the garden. I'm going to add oregano. Red peppers, but I'm going to add some of this Korean red peppers. Don't add that much crushed red pepper unless you like it really spicy, but the Korean peppers are not spicy like crushed red peppers. And then I'm going to stir this all up together. I also want to add a few bay leaves. I'm going to add 3. Okay, so I made it. I got all the tomatoes in, literally no room to spare. So I'm gonna pop the lid on this, and this is just gonna cook down now for 4 to 5 hours. You guys, it took almost 2 hours. Me and the girls working to get all these tomatoes done and the sauce made. So that's got to simmer now for 4 to 5 hours. So hopefully around 6-ish, it'll be ready, maybe 7. So tonight's video might be going up a little bit late. Alright, so for lunch today, we are just going to eat the rest of this pork fried rice. I have 2 containers because that made quite a bit last night. So we're going to eat the rest of that. And that's it for lunch today. And then we're going to make some, I'm thinking we're going to make some cookies. And we need to make some meatballs to go with spaghetti tonight, which will be delicious. And I didn't make any kind of rolls, so I guess I need to make some kind of rolls real quick too. Okay, I'm gonna start with making the dinner rolls. So I'm heating up, or I heated up to warm 1 cup of milk and 1 cup of water. You could just do 2 cups of water, you could do 2 cups of milk. I'm stretching the milk out by adding water and milk. Then I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of yeast. You could use less yeast if you wanted. And I'm gonna do a couple tablespoons of sugar. Stir that up. And I'm gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes and get nice and foamy. Okay, so now that that's bubbly, I'm gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm gonna add some melted butter. I'm gonna add an egg. I'm also gonna add a little bit of oil. I just want these to be really nice and soft. Something else I like to add is a little bit of baking powder. A little over a teaspoon. And I'm going to start with 4 cups of flour. This is just unbleached all-purpose white flour. Okay, so now I can tell it's going to need more flour. I'm going to add another cup, and then we'll see how that looks. Alright, so you can see this is what I want. So that it is sticky, but it's not crazy sticky. You could even add a little more if you want, but I think that's going to be good, just like that. So I'm just going to let it knead for just a few more minutes, and then we're going to let it rise. Okay, so now this is done. I am going to take this out of here because I want to make some oatmeal cookies. So I'm going to put this in a different bowl. And then I'm going to let this rise until it is doubled in size. Our big crazy dog laying in the sun. She's so funny. Alright, now we're going to make some oatmeal cookies. I washed that out. Okay, so I'm going to start with 1 cup of shortening. This is one of my vintage recipes from the 1950s cookbook. That's where I get a lot of my recipes. Then I'm going to add 1.5 cups of brown sugar. And we're going to start just mixing this together and get that nice and blended. And I'm going to add 2 eggs. Okay, and then I'm going to slowly add 1/2 cup of buttermilk. Now I didn't have buttermilk, so I just added a little bit of vinegar and let it sit for a while to 1/2 cup of milk. Then I'm going to add to this 1 3/4 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of nutmeg. Then I'm going to add this, or mix this all together. Then I'm going to add in 3 cups of oats. And we'll stir that up. Alright, and then I'm just going to spoon this on here. These are going to bake at 400 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes. If you're using a baking stone, it always takes a little bit longer. It's supposed to make about 5 dozen. You could use a scooper if you want them to like be perfect and uniform. But I think this is fine. Alright, that's ready to go into the oven. And when you look outside, you see a cat laying in the driveway. Cat in the driveway, dog in the backyard. Alright, so here is the first batch of oatmeal cookies. Okay, so now the dough is risen. It's noisy here, so I'm just going to show you real quick. I'm going to just pinch some of this dough off and just kind of form it into rolls and lay them on this aluminum foil. And then I'm going to cover it and let this rise until double.
Number 6, jarts or lawn darts. The lawn game of lawn darts, often referred to as javelin darts, lawn darts, jarts, or yard darts, is a toy game that can be played by...
Okay, so that's what it looks like. I'm just going to cover this and we're going to let this rise. Okay, now I'm going to make the icing for the middle of the oatmeal pies. So I'm going to start with a little bit of shortening. And I'm going to add some butter. And I'm going to add a container of marshmallow cream. All right, I'm going to whip this together. Next, I'm going to add some vanilla. And then I'm going to add some powdered sugar. I'm going to turn it down some. And then just a few drops of milk. Okay, so next I'm going to take 2 of the cookies. I'm going to take icing. You could pipe it in if you wanted. I am not piping it in. And then, poof, you have oatmeal cream pies. Now if you wanted them perfect, you could measure out, use a scoop or something to do your cookies so that they became, you know, the perfect shape. But I think it's fun to have it more homemade looking anyway. The family was definitely happy about this. Okay, next I'm going to make the meatballs for dinner tonight. So I'm going to start with some ground beef and some ground pork. Okay, I'm going to leave this very simple. I'm going to add some of this Parmesan cheese, and that is going to be way too much. I'm going to add breadcrumbs. I'm going to add an egg. And I'm going to add Italian seasoning. That's it. That's all I'm going to do with these meatballs, because this sauce is so flavorful. Gonna put these into this pan, and I'm gonna bake it at 350, probably about 30 minutes. I'll check them in about 20. We got our cow back, Belle. She's been gone for 2 months. Oh, she is so happy to be home, and he got all that on film. She about knocked everybody over trying to get out the trailer to get back to home. She has been licking us like crazy. She's going nuts. She's so cute. And then you can see the pigs and the chickens and the baby cows. So if that's something you've been waiting for, it is coming. Okay, this is ready. I'm just gonna pop this in the oven. Okay, it is almost time for the rolls to go in. So in here I just have 1 egg, and I mixed a little bit of water with it just to make an egg wash to put on the rolls. Okay, so I'm just gonna brush the tops of these, and then we'll get these in the oven. This just helps give it a really good, pretty top, and it also gives it a little bit of a crunchier, like top to the rolls or to the loaf of bread. That's why I like to do it this way. If you don't want to use egg, you could use butter, a little bit of oil. All right, he's doing the blueberries now. Okay, now this is gonna go in the oven. Okay, so it is now going on 6 o'clock, and this is starting to look great. It's tomato or spaghetti sauce. So I do have the canner going over here. I'm waiting for that to come up to a boil, and then we'll start canning this sauce. And again, we're gonna eat on this tonight too. All right, so here is the dinner rolls. Now I'm just gonna brush some butter on top, melted butter. It smells so delicious. And now the meatballs are also done. All right, so here then is dinner and dessert tonight. So you have all the meatballs and the pasta with the homemade sauce. And over here I do have pasta going, 7 jars going, and I'm probably gonna get about 3 more. So I should have about 10 to put away at the end of the night tonight. Then we have our dinner rolls. I did cut up a couple heads of the lettuce, and we just have some vinaigrette that we're gonna put on that. And then we have the oatmeal pies. So I will have Charles try that as soon as he comes in. All right, he just came in. We are exhausted today. We worked hard.
It's been a long day, and I gotta tell you, this looks incredible.
Thank you, baby.
But it tastes better than it looks.
Good. So you like the sauce and everything turned out good?
Very good.
Good. All right, you gotta try the rolls and the oatmeal pies. I know you want to keep eating the spaghetti, but...
Very light and fluffy.
Then you have to try an oatmeal pie.
I'm feeling old.
Today? Oh, honey, me too. It's been a long day. Hard work.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it is sweet. Super sweet.
It's good. But I could probably eat maybe 1.
Yeah, they're rich. Definitely different than the oatmeal pies in that way, but they still, I think they were better than an oatmeal pie. Like a Little Debbie kind.
I'm going back to this though. These are delicious. I'm going back to this.
He's ready to eat. All right, you guys, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight because I, at 7:23, need to switch over this jars of spaghetti sauce. Let you guys know tomorrow. Hopefully I'm gonna get 10 total to put downstairs. And I need to get this edited enough for you guys and eat dinner. So I will see you guys tomorrow for another full day of meals and what we're eating. I hope everybody has a great day or night wherever you are. Bye, everybody.